Hello, hello. My name is Chantele Francis, and I'm one of the hosts with Michael Pez on Reality Realness. But I decided to give you my own little takes on Big Brother Canada. Now, this is a show that I've watched every season. I've also watched every season of Big Brother OG, well, not OG, but US, as well as all the Big Brothers in the UK, Celebrity Big Brother UK. I just watched Celebrity Big Brother US. So I'm definitely a pretty big fan of Big Brother Can. And fun fact is I went to school with the host Arissa. She was a year older than me. So I've pretty much grown up with her for my entire life, which I think is, that's the reason why I haven't got on this show yet, is because people would suspect that there is something going on because I know the host, right? Well, anyways, season 6, the season that almost never was, thanks to Rob Has a Podcast. I really feel as though they were the catalyst of getting the show back. Rob has so much behind Big Brother Canada. They cover it on a daily basis, and I would listen to it on a daily basis. And sometimes I listen to their podcast more than I even watch the show sometimes, because they are so passionate about what's going on in this season. So I am going to give you a little assessment on what I'm thinking is going on with episode 1. So it's the torment of Big Brother's catacombs. So the theme is kind of heaven and hell inspired. Arissa obviously looked gorgeous, and the house is looking gorgeous as well. The beginning montage with the girl and like the sword fighting, like I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to be, like kind of like a movie and like, fantasy RPG game. I guess that's redundant, RPG. And sure, I get it. But I just didn't feel like we needed it. Like, what I watched Big Brother for is for game talk. That's all it is. It's for game talk and seeing people get out of tricky situations and everybody really being hungry for the win. So I don't need to really see, it was just too long. I don't know. I didn't really need to see it that long. So the Power of the Throne is something that's kind of new, and it's going to be released into the house, good and evil. So I'm not really sure how this is really going to go. It seems as though the theme is going to be carried out at least for a couple weeks, but I don't know, with typical Big Brother Canada, they seem to drop the themes maybe a few weeks in. So I don't know if it's going to be something that lasts the entire season, but you never know. So we have the first 5 house guests that are going to enter the house. So we have Erica. She's a 23-year-old server. She's from Toronto. She's a lesbian, and she wants to say yes to everything. I'm like, okay. I actually really liked her swag, her attitude. Like, I felt like she was seemed like a nice girl. And I was relatively interested to see what she had to offer. I didn't really look too deeply into people's during the pre-season. Like, I didn't really study and see a lot of their interviews. So this is kind of the first time that I'm seeing people really. I kind of saw who they selected just to be a little bit bitter for the fact that I wasn't selected. But yeah, I liked her. And then there was Will, and oh my gosh, I didn't really realize that the Newfoundland accent was so John Party. I just thought that's the way he talked. And I've been to Newfoundland a couple of times, and I don't really notice it that much. But when you hear it with everybody else being from more Western than Newfoundland, Canada, it stands out. And Will, I understand him still, but his accent's pretty strong. And I find it really interesting when I'm not looking at the screen. He sounds exactly like John. So I didn't realize how thick John's Newfoundland accent was actually. So yeah, he's from Newfoundland, thick accent, and he has a son. So he had a son when he was really young, when he was about 19. I believe he's about 25 now. And so I thought it was really cute that he wanted to come on the show for his son, and just for the fact that he has such a thick accent, it just doesn't seem like he could be a dad for some reason. It seems like he's a cartoon character. But he seems like a really likable guy. He's cute, and I liked him. Next was Kayla. She's from New Brunswick, so it's another East Coast province. She's really competitive, and she likes to win everything, and she says she's going to do whatever it takes. People say that, but will they really, or are they just going to stick with the house vote? I just really, really wonder. like whatever it takes or status quo. Not sure, but I'm willing to take a look. Now, the problem is like when I was looking through all the different cast assessments, like I actually couldn't really tell some of these people apart. So I'm not exactly sure who Kayla is right now, even when I'm thinking about Kayla. But hopefully my memory will jog as I continue with this episode 1 recap. Next, we're shown Hamza. He talks with his hands. He's obnoxious. He's a soccer coach. And I'm really not feeling him. He just seems a bit like an a-hole. So hopefully he'll turn that around. But they probably, put him in the house because he's an a-hole, especially with this like heaven and hell theme. But yeah, he's probably there to like stir up some shit. You know what they usually want. Hopefully I'll like him more, but at this point he just seems a little bit like a jerk. And then we have Alejandra, or Ali. She's a fitness coach or personal trainer, and she says that she'll use just about anything to get her further in the game. So she's talking about all of her different assets. So let's see how she uses them. I like people like to have all this game talk. I hope that I can see it like before my eyes. Not just like a fantasy or an idea. Like cross the fingers that she'll actually bring it. And yeah, so there's going to be some new heavenly highs and some wicked lows. That Arissa has to throw in some of those theme lines into her and intros and extras on the show. So I didn't realize how tall Will was, but when he got into the house, sorry guys, he's super tall. Like, at least he's like 6'6". Like he looks like he's really tall. And the new house, I love it, but it's actually kind of really tacky. Like it has like everything that says like theme. Like there's no subtlety in this house. It's like red, pink, red, white, black, red. Like it's very, very specific. Like upstairs is heaven, downstairs is hell. All the different images and symbols, like it's all related to either heaven or hell. I think it's cool because it's, a theme, but it's a little bit overkill in, we'll say, the taste level of the decoration. But I'm living for it because I love Big Brother, so they can do whatever they want. So yeah, I loved how the 2 rooms that they showed. One had like those big, huge white roses on the walls, and the other room had the big red roses on the wall. I thought that was a really beautiful idea, and I've only really seen that as like a ceiling when it's with actual small, like regular sized roses. So I thought it was really pretty and really unique to see it in the different rooms on the actual walls. I thought it was really pretty. So it looks like there may be maybe an East Coast alliance that was kind of brewing, I guess, with like New Brunswick with Kayla and Will. They're kind of chatting about being from the East Coast. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, it's hard to tell because with, shows like Survivor, they're edited after they know the outcome. So usually I'd say like, oh, maybe this is like, the editors showing us what's going on, but like really they don't know what's going to go on yet. So they're showing us everything. So that would be kind of cool having a little East Coast alliance. Nobody would necessarily know or suspect necessarily. Well, maybe they would, but who knows? So next group of house guests to go in is Rosina. She's the religious educator. She's definitely going to be the oldest person in the house. I believe she's 49 years old. She describes herself as a storyteller, and that if she has to lie to get what she wants, she's going to lie. She's going to do it. She's going to tell a story. So I found her a little bit annoying in her interview, like in her like intro package. I'm hoping that was just like, her being excited about being on the show, and trying to just show energy and like, her gratitude for being there. But hopefully she just turns down that volume because it's just a little bit much. Then we had Andrew Miller. He's from Scarborough. He definitely, he acts like someone's from Scarborough. I can say that because my mom was from Scarborough. And he does like not-for-profit. So I thought that was pretty cool. I I wasn't really down with him wearing the mesh, really, but we'll give him a pass. He's from Toronto, GTA. I'm from Toronto, GTA. Then we had Johnny. So he's a house husband. So I'm assuming that means he doesn't work, or he doesn't have a job, or doesn't go to school. Like, is he living with his parents? Like, I'm not sure how that works out, but he lives in Victoria, which is in British Columbia, and he is planning on creating havoc with the house. I think that's what he is saying. And he hates the alpha dude. I'm just like, well, there's obviously going to be an alpha dude in there. But let's see how this goes. And next, obviously, they show Jesse, who is an alpha dude. I love how they usually go back to back. It's like, exactly who I hate is the next person in the video package. So Jesse's from Saskatoon. That's in, like, I guess, the Midwest, mid-Canada, Saskatoon. I've been there actually a few times. I spent my New Year's there this year. Well, I work for an airline, so I spent New Year's in Saskatoon, and I don't think I would do that again on purpose, not gonna lie, but he's from Saskatoon. He says he can handle people, and he really likes high maintenance girls. I'm just like he's like the smoke show girls is who I like. I'm like, really? People actually like that? Like, I mean, I know that they're aesthetically good looking, but what happened to like personality and intelligence and kind, loving heart? Like, you don't have a chance unless you're a smoke show with Jesse. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then next we got Olivia, who defines herself as high maintenance. She always has to have her hair done and her nails done and her teeth done. And so we're thinking that Big Brother is hoping that Jesse and Olivia get together. So she is from Guelph, Ontario, and she's a beauty consultant. So it seems like maybe it's a match made in heaven with her and Jesse. And so they go into the house, and what Alyssa say? Are you going to be walking on a cloud or trapped in a ring of fire? It's so dramatic. Love it. And oh boy, so Rosina gets into the house and she is screaming and is excited and she's loving it. I wrote down, she needs to stop screaming, which she really, really does. Like, I really want to root for the elder person in the house. You know, I personally don't necessarily want to watch, 20-somethings in the game. So I enjoyed Celebrity Big Brother because the majority of people were over the age of 30. I found that interesting. I liked that there was a little bit more maturity in how they were gaming and manipulating. I liked it. So I was like, I'm rooting for you, Rosina. But you gotta zip it, like zip that mouth. It's just, and the decibel, it's just so high. Like, I don't know. She needs to have recorded herself like screaming and to know not to do that. So next we have the final 4 house guests. So first being Maddie. She's 25 from Ottawa, Ontario. She's a bartender. People think she's sweet but she's actually really passionate and vengeful. I'm like, well, let's see this. Like, she didn't really seem like it. I know she reminds me of the other brunette in the house. I guess that was Kayla. I can't tell who is whom at this point. Hopefully they will emerge to have a different face. But at this point, I'm not sure who is who. And so she wants to get into a showmance. So let's see what happens. And I guess her showmance is like, she doesn't want to actually fall for the person, but she wants to get into showmance to like have like a meat shield to take her to the end. I'm like, I mean, good strategy, but I'd like showmances because people actually fall for each other. I really like that. I don't like fake showmances because I think it's just kind of mean. I don't like you're playing with someone's emotions that way. There's always already a lot of emotions in Big Brother, so I would hope that you maybe reserve someone's heart for someone that wants the real thing. But we'll see if that actually works out. I don't know if she can actually get every guy she wants, so we'll see. Next, we have Derek, who everybody that I've talked to is like, oh my God, this guy is the best looking guy I've ever seen on Big Brother. And I'm like, no, he's okay. He's attractive, but the best looking guy, I don't know. But he's from Vancouver, but he's a small town boy at heart. He's an Instagram lifestyle blogger. So you saw lots of like snapshots of his Instagram page. He probably has, 100,000 followers, which is awesome. And probably here to like bump up his followers. So be it. Everybody's there for their own reasons. But yeah, he wants to flirt and maybe meet some ladies. So we'll see how that goes for him. He seems like actually like a nice guy. Like he's attractive, but doesn't seem like he's a jerk. So he might be able to get the ladies. Next we have Ryan, who I wrote down as Brian. So clearly I wasn't listening, but now I know it's Ryan. And he's a fire safety technician, and he wants to be the supervillain. He was definitely really excited to tell us that he has an IQ of 153. And yeah, he has a lot of game knowledge. So I worry for people with a lot of game knowledge because they're thinking too much. They might scare the people that don't know the game because they're like, oh my God, well, what are they doing? Like, they don't, I can't read them. Like, they might know, if he lets people know that he knows the game too much, they might target him. And that's the fact. If I was in the house with him, I knew that he had a lot of game knowledge, I would target him. Because then if he knows what I'm doing, he might want to get me out. So he should zip that. I mean, I know he's just telling it to us, but hopefully he doesn't bring that out into his part of his strategy, because that ain't right. And then last we have pretty little Paris. Oh, she's so pretty. She's from Port Coquitlam. We've got a lot, I think that's 3 people now. It's from BC. So she has like a little bit of a geeky side, but she really wants to win. And I like people that want to win. I know everybody should be there for the experience. Like, I love the idea of, getting together in a house and like, strategizing, chatting, and meeting people that you would never meet in your entire life, and then having this like really intense bond for the rest of your life. I love that. I think it's fabulous. But I want people to win, Like, I'm a gamer. I love strategy. I love competitions, and I like that she says she wants to win. So I'm rooting for her. So she was from Iran, and she was sometimes, she was maybe bullied a little bit in school and stuff. But she's hopefully that she's going to be able to get comfortable in the house and take home the W. So I'm rooting for little Miss Paris. So the first bombshell is that one house guest is going to, they're going to get a cup, and they're going to be sending people to heaven and hell. So there were these gauntlets or like cups that were on the table, and they each, Arissa tells everybody to take a cup, and there's going to be a toast. They all give out cups, and I believe that Maddie gave them then the cup. Was it Maddie? Maddie, Kayla, Olivia. Just one more girl. I get them all mixed up. I know who Erica is for sure. The Maddie and Kayla, I can't tell who's who. Yeah. Anyway, so I think it was Maddie that gave Andrew his cup. So Andrew drinks it, and Arissa lets him know that his cup had both a red and blue symbol on the cup, and that he is going to have this superpower. So he is going to have to put 7 of his housemates in heaven and 7 of them in hell. And the people that are in heaven, they're going to be safe for the week. People that are in hell, not only are they going to be have-nots, they're not going to be able to wear their own clothes. They are going to be on slop, and 2 of them within that group will be nominated for eviction. And only those 7 people in hell were going to be playing for head of household. So pretty much an easy ride for the week for the people that are in heaven, and pretty crappy odds for people that are in the bottom for going home. So I personally didn't like this twist, because I really like when everybody gets a chance to play and everybody is involved in the mix at the beginning, just because you know, you get to see everybody's cards at the beginning. But I mean, it wasn't the worst twist I've ever seen. So I'm not too upset with it, but I'm mediocre plus. And so, yeah, he's going to have to make these game decisions. And so they're going to have this head of household competition where they're all basically against a wall. And like usually head of household for the first one is an endurance competition. And this one was no different. So they had these big wings on and they had like all this fire that was going up in the back behind them. And they had to hold on for dear life. And the wall obviously was moving back and forth. So quite challenging. And Paris, like myself, she has hyperhidrosis. I have hyperhidrosis. It's been the bane of my existence for my entire life. When I was in middle school, I went to an art school and we had national dances and the boys didn't want to hold my hand because I had hyperhidrosis. So I'd put my skirt in my hands so my sweaty hands wouldn't touch the boys' sweaty hands. So I understand, Miss Paris, hyperhidrosis. So I'm with you here. I understand, honey. And so they're all holding on. Actually, let me just tell you who was in hell. So what's his name? Andrew puts in hell Johnny, Will, Allie, Paris, Kayla, Rosina, and Maddie. And then in heaven, it was Andrew, obviously, Jesse, Erica, Hamza, Olivia, Derek, and Brian. And I'm just like, well, they didn't really tell us in the episode how he made this decision, so we couldn't really fully see what his thought process was. But I really think that he may not have wanted to put all the women down there. And to be fair, all the female of any diversity are also in the bottom. Everybody has, all the women that are ethnic of some sort are in the bottom. Maddie, or is it Kayla? Whoever gave him the cup, we're saying it's Maddie, but if it's Kayla, I'm sorry, guys. I just can't tell them apart yet. Gave him the cup. You'd think that he would at least save her because he gave her the power, but he put her in the bottom. I'm like, jerk move. And then Johnny, he's the only gay guy in the house. He puts him in the bottom. So I felt that, and Will, like, so Will was the only, like, alpha male that just, like, you know, not a visible diversity, not in a minority group that was in the hell group. And I thought that was a bad decision. He should have maybe thought about that a little bit more. Like, I understand that he didn't want to talk openly about, you know, his decisions when he was in the diary or the whatever room that's called, the catacombs or whatever, but due to like being topazed. But I wish that in the diary he kind of explained like why he made those decisions, because I thought that it was really very, very, very bad, like very bad. And so in heaven, yeah, he has Andrew, Jesse, Erica, Hamza, Olivia, Derek, and Ryan, who I wrote Ryan, but Ryan. And so they have to hold on. And like, as I was saying before, I was rooting for Paris, like right off the bat. Like there's something about her. She seems really nice and endearing. And like, she's just, I feel like you want to root for her. She looks like innocent and kind. And I want to root for her. And so I was. And the stakes are kind of stacked pretty high because if they don't win, there's only going to be 6 people to choose from to put up for nominations. And there's not really much to go on, but they've known each other for like an hour. Like that's just not a lot of time. So yeah, you want to win. I think this is the time where you'd actually want to win the first head of the household. I know the game strategy is to like lay low for the first few weeks, go to sleep. But if you're one of 6 that are going to be nominated, or like 3 of 6 or 2 out of 6 that could be nominated, so I guess a third of the house or a third of the, anyway, you get what I'm saying. I would probably want to try for it because the odds is that if I don't win, that I'm most likely going out or being a replacement nominee. So 3 out of the 6 people might be affected by these nominations or by not winning. So winning is in this case your best MO. So Rosina, like I know she's on this wall and I know she's older, but she was just so loud and screaming, and every time it moved she would scream. And it's just because her scream was really piercing that you just like, I couldn't even be sympathetic towards her just because it hurt my ears so much. I'm sorry, Rosina, you seem like a very lovely woman, but you were just irritating me like on my screen. I'm sorry that but it's the truth. And her voice, I wrote down, I'm like, her voice is just in your head. It's just so annoying. So first off is Allie, the personal trainer. Isn't that ironic? Maddie, Rosina, and then Kayla. They were all off. So at this point now, it's going to be Will, Johnny, and Paris. They're the last three standing. And so Paris, I think, is the one that brought up first. It's like, let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. And Johnny was like, oh, like, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, like just how he was evading the question. I just was like, that's pretty sketchy. At this point, like, just make a deal. And I know he was saying in his diary rooms that like he didn't want to make a deal yet because he didn't know who he likes or who he wanted to make alliances with, so he didn't want to have to go back on his word or whatnot. But it's like, it's the first head of household, make a deal. Like, instead of staying up there. I don't know. It just made me think that I would want to target him because he wasn't willing to work with me at that moment. Like, I would definitely have my eye on him. He would definitely be someone to be like, okay, he doesn't want to make a deal. Okay, I got you. I'll have my eye on you. And I wouldn't trust him because he didn't want to trust me. And when you don't want to trust somebody else, it's usually because you have something yourself to hide. So I don't know if he did himself any, I think he did himself a disservice there. So yeah, I even wrote down here, I don't trust Johnny. So this isn't good though right now, though. Rosina is yelling and yelling and yelling and cheering for Paris. And Paris, go Paris. And I know that she's the only girl that's still on the block, but I'm like, you have to equally scream for everybody. And just because her voice is so specific, it just sounded like she was really just cheering for Paris, which also then sounds like she's gunning for everybody else. And I think actually that happened more so when Will finally fell off. So when it was just Paris and Johnny, that's when Rosina, well, they edited it anyways, that Paris, she was cheering for Paris. Yeah, so yeah, I was just writing here that Johnny didn't want to make a deal, and I thought it was really stupid. And in the end, Paris could not hold on, and she falls down. So Johnny, I guess he didn't need to make a deal because he won head of household, and so he is going to have the power to nominate 2 of the people in hell for eviction. I was really proud of Paris for staying on that long, but at the same time, I wish that she didn't necessarily show all of her cards, that she's willing to really fight and stay up there for a long time, because it just might make her a target a little bit soon. And that's why I don't like that everybody didn't compete, because a lot of her strategies, so she was making a deal right away. She stayed on for a long time. I felt it showed that she was a force, and 7 people in the house didn't have to show anything to their house guests. They know nothing about their willpower, their strategy, like their stamina, like none of that. Even Andrew, he just got handed a glass, and now he has this power to put people in hell. So that's one of the reasons why I don't like that initial twist. And so after that, they show now the gate crashers. And so we have Kirsten, who is and Rob has a podcast, Patreon, and I think she's podcasted on a few of their podcasts. I probably heard her before. I just didn't know who she was at the time, so I didn't recognize her. But like, I'm super excited that she has an opportunity to get on the show. It's really nice to get that far, because I got auditioned all these times, and like I've never made it that far, so it must be really exciting for her to be like living out her dream. And so they're saying that she's going to be backstabbing, and she'd steal a bitch. What is this? No, she'd cut a bitch. She'll cut a bitch. I can't read my own handwriting. So yeah, let me just explain this. So the gate crashes are 4 people, 2 from heaven, 2 from hell, male and female in each. that are going to be voting in Canada for them, or two of them to come back to the house. So a man and a woman, either heaven or hell, or angel or devil, whatever you call them. So Kristen is representing the female devil, or female hell. And then next there's Veronica. So she is, seems like she's kind of like a fairy child, like, you know, goes to like best music festivals. She has Blur written on her arm, which stands for peace, love, unity, and something that starts with an R. Did I write it somewhere? No. She seems okay. She seems really boring. She doesn't seem like she really knows the show. I'm like, I want Kristen in there because she knows, like, I like people that play the game. I like people that are, you know, thinking about what's going on with strategy. Like, I want that. So hopefully Canada will vote Kirsten into the house over Veronica. Veronica is representing the angel. She's blonde, obviously. Well, Kirsten's blonde as well, but she just looks really like sweet and airy fairy. And then we have Mikey, who's representing the devils or the hell side for the men. So he's like a real estate agent. He likes backstabbing. He's, you know, says he's top of his game in the real estate industry in Toronto. So I also want to see him go into the house because I want to see someone that's cutthroat, that's like, it seems like they're willing to make big moves. And it seems like Mikey is ready to do that. He says he's ready to play the bad guy. And I want to see him play the bad guy. And then lastly, we had Marin, who seems like a really sweet guy. He's representing the angel side of them for the men. He says he's going to be a smart player. And so his goal is that he wants to make his family proud. And so as much as like I found him to be really sweet, I wanted Mikey to go in over him, but I didn't want Marin to feel bad. So I was like, so yeah, we'll see what happens with that vote. See what happens. And so yeah, I don't think they showed who was nominated on that episode. So stay tuned and I'll fill you in on episode 2. Ciao. All right, so we are back with episode 2 of Big Brother season 6. Oh man, like it's even though I don't like twists, it's pretty good out of the gate. You know, we see Paris looking a little bit nervous, like all the people that are on the hell side that didn't win head of house, so obviously other than Johnny, they are starting to campaign a little bit. And I just hate that the other side of the house doesn't have to do any of this. They just get to listen. It's kind of like they're all head of household because they're all safe and none of them are going to be a replacement nominee. So it's like, it's one-sided gameplay, but I'm not going to complain that much. Listening to Hamza though, I'm liking him a little bit more in real life, which is better than his video package, but he kind of sounds to me a little bit like Adele from season 2, which was really funny because every time I just hear it, so I'm like, if I listen, I hear Adele and I hear John Party, both from season 2. I don't think Paris sounds like Netta, but I know that a lot of people have been comparing the two of them together, so I find it's very interesting that they have at least listen to like doppelgangers. So Allie's talking to Johnny and she's just like being like, well, it would be like an easy pick to like pick me because like I fell off first, like the first 2 that fell off would just be like easy, but like I know that you're smarter than that, or you're not gonna do something like that, like you shouldn't. And she was kind of like acting as though like he shouldn't do that, but like she also told him that it was like the easy vote. So why are you telling him like the easy things to do is this, but don't do that? Like just don't even bring up the easy thing to do. Make it hard for him to do that because now he thinks that you would understand if you're put up because of the fact that you were the first one off. So I think that she shot herself in the foot there, but who knows? Yeah, they talk about Rosina cheering for Paris, and I was really worried. I was really worried at that point because like Paris, like it's just up on the wall, and Rosina decided to cheer for her. So at this point, I was just like so worried because I was like, what if Johnny puts up Paris and Rosina thinking that they're already like, you know, in an alliance, this and that, because Rosina was cheering for her. And so Rosina actually talks to Johnny, and Johnny brings this up. And she's like, lots of people were, you know, cheering for Paris. It wasn't just me. Like, we all wanted the girl to win, blah, 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 blah. But it's actually was really interesting because, like, there was, like, I like how they're playing up, like, all this dramatic music. And, like, there's, like, this hellish kind of devilish music that was playing. And Johnny wakes up from his sleep and, like, he's looking over the household and he's, you know, making all these decisions in his head. And so when he's talking to everybody now, he's using something that he's coined now as the sad puppy strategy. Now, this sad puppy strategy is to pretend like he doesn't do anything, to pretend that it really pains him and hurts him to be doing this to people. So we will soon see how that fares, or if anybody catches on for the fact that he's completely faking the fact that he is that hard up, like, on nominating these people. Like, I don't think he cares at all. But also really funny, though, he can't understand Will, which is really funny. Will just needs to talk a little bit more slowly, maybe. And maybe not use any slang. Like, I haven't needed to have any subtitles yet, but sometimes I have to, like, replay it in my head a couple times and be like, oh, that's what he said. He did tell, so that's what he's telling Rosina, that she's probably going up. That's what she said. Why? Talking about her screaming for Paris. And she's basically saying that she can help him, And I did appreciate her plea here. And she kind of, like, I was a little bit scared. Like, she kind of became a little bit of a villain in how she was, like, really staring him down and saying that, like, I can help you. Like, you could use me. I'm a number. Like, she was really, like, very calm and her voice was really collected. And so it's like a bug that just flew over here. I don't even know. Weird. Hopefully I got it. And so, yeah, I was kind of scared. I was like, oh, Rosina, she kind of has, like, she can turn. I'm like, okay, maybe I want to see her stay. I don't, like, she was annoying me, but maybe she doesn't need to go. And so Johnny now decides that he is going to nominate 2 people. And he's like, at this point, I got $100,000 on the line. Like, I don't really care about these people enough. So he doesn't really, yes, it sucks, the decision that he has to make, but $100,000, losing that is a lot worse. So he got over it pretty quick. And so he ends up nominating Rosina and Ali, which I was actually quite surprised. Just because, like, how they were talking, they seemed like they were good friends. And, you know, she's just like, I know you got me, like, we're good, blah, blah. And so I think, though, the fact that she put in his head that she wouldn't be that pissed about him putting up somebody that fell first, it gave him the idea to do it. But I was definitely, I was surprised. And so he says that was the reason why he put up Ali, and the reason why he put up Rosina was because she was cheering for Paris and not him. So that means that she's against him. And I'm like, okay, phew. Like, I thought that he might put up Paris because she is definitely more of a threat than Rosina, but he did not. So I'm all okay with this. And I wrote down, how freaking tall is Will? He's really tall. I wish, like, they need to address the fact that he's quite tall, because it's something that you're like notice when you watch the show. And so, yeah, Ali kind of, like, when she's nominated, she kind of goes and lays down in the bedroom, and I don't know if she actually shed a tear, but she's kind of sad. She's like, I'm on stop. I'm not even wearing my own clothes. I'm nominated, and Paris kind of goes in to comfort her, which I thought was sweet. So Hamza's talking to Rosina, and he wants her to know that he has her back, and that he wants her to stay, and that, you know, he can compete, so he's gonna be going hard for the veto to hopefully save her, and, you know, she can cook food. She's a great cook, and he kind of gives her a pep talk. It's like, what are you gonna make? And I think she's like, butter chicken. So she's going to try and allure them with her delicious food. And so there's a new love connection / alliance that kind of unfolded. So you have Kayla and Derek and Jesse and Paris. I don't know if Jesse and Paris are canoodling, but it seems as though Derek and Kayla might have something going on. And so they decided that they wanted to all four work together and they wanted to solidify their alliance. So this is the first named alliance that I've seen so far called The Real Deal. And so I thought it was cute though. Derek is like, you know, the first rule of The Real Deal is you don't talk about the real deal, which I'm happy that they know that just shut up, that they're going to talk to the people, but they know that they're solid. Like that's the way to play an alliance, is that you know that you're solid and you go and do your own thing. Obviously you don't want to tip off anybody to know that there is that you're an foursome. So go make other alliances, make other plans, and then come back and share the information. So I'm happy with the four of them working together, and hopefully that it's going to pan out and nobody finds out. So yeah, I'm kind of happy about that. And at the end of the segment, you see like Kayla was like twerking in happiness about like their alliance. So I was like, twerk it, girl, twerk, twerk. So when we go back from commercial break, we see it's the head of house competition, and Kayla is hosting, and she is in a beautiful butterfly costume, and Derek obviously has a diary session about how stunning she looks. So I write down exactly what he says. No, but yeah, she definitely, he thought she looked pretty good in a butterfly outfit. And everybody else was dressed as like a caterpillar, but it kind of more so looked like a worm or a glowworm even. Glowworm from like in the 80s. Anyway, they look like a glowworm. So it's basically like a big sleeping bag. Everything was green or yellowy green, if I'm not mistaken. And what they had to do is they had to slither their body over like kind of like a down, and they have these little balls. I think they were eggs first. So they're supposed to use their head and body to get these eggs, and they had like 5 on a platform where you had to get their eggs in. And there's these golden eggs, and if they get the golden eggs in one of the holes, then everybody else has to freeze for no other. So the competition is on, and everybody's pretty well except for Rosina. Allie was really working hard. So it was really a race between Allie, who was playing, obviously, Johnny, who was playing. Hamza was also playing. Rosina was not doing so well. And who else was playing? Johnny, Hamza. I didn't write it down, so it doesn't really matter. But those are the 3 people that were in contention, and it was really strenuous and tiring for all of them. And Rosina was exhausted, and eventually it looked like it was like Hams was going to win and Allie was going to win, and eventually Johnny pulls out the W. Now, I just could be a Big Brother, historian, and like it's just not a good look to win head of the household and the veto back to back when he didn't need to win the veto. He didn't need to. He didn't need to. And so it would have probably been better for him to let somebody else win it so he didn't look as strong. But we'll see if he can shake off the stigma now that he's won both the head of household and this now like a endurance, a strenuous, whatever, like why can't I think of the word? Endurance competition, but this was a physical. Oh my God, I'm not even hard. A physical competition. He's also won, so he's just showed a little bit of his cards, a little bit. So I'm like, oh boy. So Johnny wins. Johnny wins. Johnny wins. And so now they're kind of all talking, and Hamza is talking to Derek, and he's talking about how he thinks that Rosina should stay and that Rosina is not good at competition. She cooks for us. She's not going to be a threat later on in the game. Like, you should keep her. And Allie, I guess she fell off first, but she also has a potential to win other competitions. She's savvy, and she might be more dangerous later. So Hamza felt that he could control Rosina a little bit more, and it might be a better option for them to keep Rosina over Allie. and in the diary room, Hamza is like, want to dictate every move in the house, starting with like Rosina staying, blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, we'll see what happens. But it's the first eviction of the season. Yes, but Ali looks like she's worried that she's going. She's like looks terrified. She says in her speech that she wants to be an ally and she's willing to work with people. But Rosina was like, I can cook and I suck at competitions and I would be a loyal vote. And I think that like Rosina had a pretty good convincing speech there. And I guess because she was so annoying that the house guests didn't want to keep her, but I thought that it was pretty compelling. I was like, maybe this is going to happen. So in the diary room, Will votes Rosina, Erica, Rosina, Ryan, Rosina, Paris, Rosie, Jesse, Mama Rosina, Hamza, Mama Rose, Maddie, Rosie, Derek, Rosina, Kayla, Rosina, Olivia, Rosina, Andrew, Rosie. So she is a dunzos. She got a unanimous vote from the house and she was ousted. And so she has like a really brief interview with Arissa. They're trying to pack a lot of things in this episode. So she had like a quick little like chit chat with Arissa. Arissa kind of like complimenting her on her speech, and commercial break, and we're coming back. Now it's Gatecrashers. Someone's going back in the house. What? Okay, so yeah, I got the two super sweet, the two super wicked. They all come out. Yeah, so Veronica and Morgan come out in like light colors, and obviously Mikey and Kirsten come out in red and black. Typical. And so what I think I learned, I don't know if I learned it here or just in general, but the Gatecrashers actually didn't know that they were part of a twist, and they actually just thought that they were part of the actual show. So when they got there on the stage is when they learned that A, half of them are not going into the house, and B, that, yeah, it is completely different than them being on the show. So they were probably in sequestered thinking like, oh my God, my dreams come true. I'm actually getting on especially Kirsten. This is what I'm thinking here. And now I may not get a chance to get in because I'm competing with somebody right now. So I was like, you could see like there was like in Kirsten's face, there was just like worry on her face. And I was like, oh man. So yeah, Arissa tells them the house guests are already in the house, and they're like, and it was really quick. But Arissa was like, and Veronica is going into the house. And then she's like, thank you, Kirsten. And like Kirsten just leaves the stage. And then they're like, and the other Gatecrasher is Marin. And then Mikey just leaves the stage. Like it was like, quick, no, like, bye, thank you so much. Like Canada loves you. Like none of that. It's like they were on the stage for like 2 minutes and they're off, and their dream of ever being on Big Brother Canada most likely ended there, unless they came back maybe for an All-Stars or something. But at this point, they most likely won't be entering back in the Big Brother Canada house. And so now Marin and Veronica are supposed to come up with some sort of story as to why they're entering the house late, but they can't say that they were voted in by Canada. So they're going to be entering in through the diary room. And sorry, before everybody left, Marissa asked everybody like what they don't want the house guests to know. And Kirsten said that she's a super fan. Mikey says, I don't remember. Veronica says that she's never seen the show before. She's only watched 2 seasons, and I'm assuming those 2 seasons were in sequester. And then I don't remember what Barry said. But then they go into the diary room and they're trying to figure out like what reason they are going to say for them coming into the house. And they're like throwing in ideas about them being super fans, and they got picked out of the audience. I'm like, you just said that you're not a super fan, so you can't fake being a super fan. And well, clearly she knows this is not a super fan, because then she would realize that like being a super fan is like really detrimental to your game. So you probably don't want to do that. But anyways, they kind of decide that that's the story that they're going to go in with, and we're going to see what's going to happen. So yeah, they're not listed, they're voted in, so they have to come up with something else. But the one good thing is that they're safe for the week, so they do have time to make bonds and connections and try to assimilate into the house. So I would hope that they would align and make a good story, but I don't think so. Oh, and I wrote down here what plur means: peace, love, unity and respect. And I think that's a perfect way to end episode 2 of Big Brother. Lots of stuff is going on. I've been watching the feeds. It's good. It's good. But I'll be back either Monday night or Tuesday sometime with episode 3. And I'll probably do a little bit of, maybe I'll do a spoiler update on Sunday or something. We'll see. Well, I hope you enjoyed my recap of the first 2 episodes of Big Brother Canada 6. So you want to subscribe to my channel, that's right about here. Or you can find me on Reality Realness, at Reality Realness with 3 S's on Instagram. Or yeah, at ShanFranFran on Instagram. You can find me anywhere. Find me, message me, comment, whatever. Share this, like it. Love it. Bye, guys. I'm done. Cheers.